Here's the Zinger sheet metal story. First of all, we had a kickoff meeting. And the very first meeting we had, I had the leadership team answer 3 questions. They're in the book. Each one answered them individually, then we consolidated them, and we had a conversation. But reaching consensus on what's important, and the one question is, what are we currently doing that is good? The second question, what are we currently doing that we could be doing better? And the last question is, what aren't we doing that we should be doing? And the red dots were Dave, the president's vote. The other blue dots with initials, because we wanted to get a shared understanding and see a pattern of where in this organism, this thing, this business, where we could do improvement. Another thing, they got their core values published. This is David and his dad. It was a big moment. To reach that milestone. This is developing their system of work. This was the beginning of our command center, our war room. Our very first 5W2H. Remember, they were having trouble invoicing on time? Well, they do it every day now. Every day. That helps cash flow. At first, everyone was reluctant for me to get out in the shop. You know, Dave, let's work on us and we can work. But I knew the key to the business is out on the shop floor. That's who's making the stuff. No offense. Somehow, as finance people and our different jobs, we think we might be a little more important than the people on the shop floor. I've never been able to figure that one out. But this meeting, we actually reached consensus or got a shared understanding of the shop leaders where they wanted to work on. And you can see some pride in those pictures, folks. They were involved. They were engaged. How many people have heard Jim Collins talk about get the person in the right seat on the bus? I've always wanted to get Mr. Collins and say, give me the specifications of a seat. Tell me what they are. So I'd have a format to do it. Well, it's a task matrix. People list what they do daily, weekly, monthly. They share it with their coworkers. You make sure you get understanding, because we have an org chart, but we wanted to make sure inside the workshop, the organization shop or chart, that we knew what people were going to do. This is a reference point because sometimes in a meeting, you can have some squabbles, you can have and we wonder who's responsible for what. Well, we can get right up and we can go to the chart and we can point and find out who's doing what. Here's another thing I liked about what David did. He got online and he downloaded Lucid. And so these are all of his own. Now, I'm not doing any flow charts now. They're doing flow charts all on their own, which is really cool. But he used Lucid, and this is the system of work in some of their processes. This might be my most favorite photo. And these are these shop guys. And the first thing, they need to be a little educated, because remember, quality was declining. Remember that? Scrap was up and all that. Well, we decided where the control points were. First of all, we weren't going to let anything leave that wasn't right anymore. So this tall guy right here is Russ, and he's been with the company for over 20-some years. And one thing David said in a meeting, he said, Russ can just walk through the shop and he can spot it. So he decided to unleash him, and he became the quality guy, and he had to inspect. We came up with a check sheet, and as you can see, the owner's very happy that we have this check sheet now. Mozzie was very concerned about quality within the shop, and so now we have the quality team that we formed. How many people know anything about 5S'ing? Okay. You want your facility organized. And there's these 5 terms. You get rid of what you don't need. You sort it. You set it in order. You standardize in the 5 S's. But the first thing was we had to tag things because we did a zone map and the different leaders had to go to their zone, and if there's a piece of equipment or junk or something in their space, they did a red tag. Now David and Chad, the operations manager, they're going to go through and decide where the stuff should go. And but here they are, they're involved. There's quite a few red tags out there on the floor from the last time we walked. We've taken the 5W1H and we've created all of our meeting agendas. And now we have a whiteboard in the command center. And it's a place now where we have a timeline. And, it's just a place. Now, this was just maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So this has all evolved. Here is the shop, the Sacred Shop Command Center. We call ours the war room for the leadership, but out in the shop, it's their command center. And this is Chad preparing for his first solo shop meeting that he's going to facilitate and lead. And it was so cool. Also, we did a skills matrix. You know, they complaining about people not doing a good job, but how can you track it? So we determined all the skills that were required. We got people to self-evaluate themselves, and then we reached consensus. And we're going to do an 80-20. We're going to pick the 20% of the skills that have the greatest impact on quality. And for the first quarter, we're going to train on those areas. Getting back to scheduling, remember the scheduling information going to the production floor? Here's some creativity. We're developing the shop scheduling visual system. And David's a visionary. He knows kind of how he wants it. Sometimes he just needs an integrator to get it done. But here is the concept. Also, we wanted to create the scoreboard for the shop, and this was a brainstorm meeting, maybe about 45 minutes long, and we decided we were going to measure scrap, on-time delivery, quality, morale, safety, and inventory. So we're in the process of putting that together. Here's Chad doing his first solo with his team. And this was the first weekly leadership meeting. This was last week. And we're going over the skills matrix. We're determining when things need to be done prior to the holidays. This was our system of work process and our scoreboard. And afterwards, David was taking a photo. We're going to come up with our action plan, and also he's finding out where we are on our different 5W2Hs to determine our next action items. The Zinger sheet metal story is an example of what happens when you engage your people, make your processes visible, and complete projects on time. Zinger Sheet Metal was able to do this in 90 days, and so can you.